Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Whoa! I'm Chewy Mew and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to Venom month, day number 7. Today we've got a versus between the Toy Biz Planet of the Symbiotes Venom the Madness versus the Toy Biz Along Came a Spider Venom the Symbiote. We got both these two figures here, and they're pretty big, and with a comparison to a Spider-Man figure, you can see they just topple over Spider-Man. This guy is just crazy tall. This guy is also really tall, but he's in this hunched over, bent knee position. So he'd probably be like up to here maybe. He'd be way taller. He'd be probably as tall as this guy here. We're going to be doing a versus, and you might be thinking, well dude, they look nothing alike. They're completely different looking. And for me, you know, that's exactly the point in comparing these two. They're two big symbiotic characters of Venom, and they include Venom the in their name. And he has this cool gimmick here on the back that when you press it, his heads lift up, which is pretty cool. You can rotate this one here. This head right here rotates along with this one here. So the arms rotate all the way around. Both of them do. The legs also rotate all the way around, and so does the head, which unfortunately he's only got 5 POA, which isn't technically 7 if you want to count these two heads right here. And these ones kind of move, but not really. But yeah, so articulation is pretty low on this guy, along with this guy. This guy has more just based on his design. So his articulation, the arms rotate all the way around. They get kind of stuck there, though. And then he has rotation here in his wrists. The legs kick up. Get your arm out of the way, dude. They kick up super crazy far, and they go back pretty far. So this guy can do the full splits forward and back for whatever use that's going to be. He's a perfect single bend in the elbow, or in the knee. And then you have a hinge. I guess this would be the ankle? I guess this is kind of the ankle, because this is like his whole foot, I think. But yeah, very good bend there. It doesn't go back much. And then the head is actually on a ball peg, so you can see these guys are too big for on camera. So that's like his neutral is like that. So that's looking up, that's looking down. You can tilt side to side, and the head kind of has movement. It also rotates, so you can pretty much get him looking up and looking down. But yeah, so if you want to really go that way with articulation, this guy would win. As far as like the actual sculpting, I think this guy might also win, because this guy, he does some good sculpting. Like as far as the actual body, just ignoring like the texturing and stuff, he's ripped. Like look at that, he's got huge arms, very muscular legs. His legs do look kind of small, but that has to do with his legs are like, he's hunched over like this. So if his knee were straight, he'd be taller. That guy is just ripped and huge and stuff. He's got these gigantic hands. He does have a hole in this hand and a hole in this one, because he came with like these web tendril looking things that would stick on his back. Something kind of similar to this. This is from a Hasbro figure you'd have, and then you'd shake them around, and then they would wiggle around. But look at that, he's really cool. He's got, the weird thing is, he has texture throughout his whole body, but not on his boots, which, this guy's heavy too. He doesn't have texturing on his boots. The bottom of the foot here says 1996, Marvel made in China. The other foot says Toy Biz Incorporated. And these peg holes actually don't work on Toy Biz bases, unfortunately, but he's pretty stable there. The Spider logo is painted, it's painted good. I don't know if it's because it's old or just how the paint work, but you can see right there on that pectoral there, you can see the web lines look kind of faded gray, which is kind of unfortunate. I think the paint might just be wearing off. On the back, he also has the paint there is a little kind of like fuzzy and wearing off, I think. Some parts are just kind of missing. One thing I wish they did was with this button, which you need it for the gimmick. They have a gimmick. What they could have done is just make this white and maybe make it a little bit shorter. So that way, because if it's white, then it blends in with the spider better. But most times you're probably not going to be posing him on the back where you can see him like this. Variations. It's not just like the same sculpt repeated. Like that one, you got like the gritting teeth. They all have red eyes. That one as well, it's different. That one. This guy right here has a tongue, which is interesting how that's the only extra head that has a tongue. That face looks pretty cool as well. Can you you could stick Spider-Man's fingers in there if he's trying to bite Spider-Man. Like, look at that. So he could bite Spider-Man's fingers if you want that. So this head, I think out of all these extra heads, I like this one because he's making like some kind of like a scowl or whatever, that head back there. It's really hard to show you these heads because the bulk of this guy is just kind of weird. But yeah, I think that head looks cool. Also this one, You know, like some of these heads, I feel like they could work on their own as, they could work on their own. Like if these were to be a full-blown head sculpt, like this was a full-size head sculpt, this could easily work for like Venom figures, you know. Then we got the main head sculpt. Got the big white eyes, big tongue here. The tongue is squishy plastic, so I mean you can't like position it, but it is squishy though, so that's nice. He's got yellow teeth with his gums. This whole head is a sort of squishy kind of plastic. It's called PVC. A hard plastic like this is ABS, and then squishy plastic like this and like this is PVC, which is like there's different levels of how soft it is. And the whole head is like that, so unfortunately some paint does come off easier than like on this hard plastic. Which, he's got a pointed chin here. Which, yeah, the sculpting on this guy is just phenomenal. And then he also has, also big white eyes. I always like the Venom eyes that are like super far, they go way back on the head. The head here, he also has the eyes that start here and they go back pretty far. This one has a much more animalistic kind of look to it. He looks pretty much, he doesn't look human at all compared to this one. It's super, like, ripped, crazy-looking human, but he still has, like, a human kind of body. This guy just looks like an animal. He has these teeth, which the cool thing is, you're not supposed to be able to take the head off, but this one, it came off, like, the glue wore off, and you could see that the top teeth here and the bottom teeth are separate pieces. So they're not just one sculpted piece, which is pretty cool. You can see the detail on the teeth. Of course, this part you're not supposed to see. And this part doesn't have texturing, which you're also not going to really see. The teeth are very nice there. You can see he's like got like a angry looking. He's wrinkles like he's like gritting his teeth, like very like interesting snout looking face. I think I definitely prefer the head sculpt on this over this. I think both of these head sculpts look really good, but this one it still looks like a Venom head, whereas this one doesn't look anything like Venom. You know, they could have just not painted this Venom colors and don't put this logo, and you wouldn't think, oh yeah, that's Venom. You just think crazy weird alien looking creature. He's got these things that, with the way they're sculpted, they kind of look like shoulder pads here, which they're not supposed to be. These huge spikes sticking off the bat, which is longer than Spider-Man's. It's almost as long as Spider-Man's lower leg. He's got huge claws. One thing that he kind of can do, you can get him to hold Spider-Man. You can get him to hold Spider-Man, and I'm not touching him or anything, so you can see he can hold Spider-Man pretty well. And then, oh dear. Look, he has like regular kind of muscular looking thighs here. And even this is kind of regular muscle look to him. Just with this crazy knee piece and like this bony looking thing. I don't know. It's like insect-ish, but also mixed with like a xenomorph. Which just makes it look really cool. Like as far as the design of this character is just really cool. He's these weird like fin looking things. There is no texture on this part, which is for the joint. But they totally could have put texture on that. Or at least paint or something. Because it looks weird that that's the only, like, smooth part of it that has no sculpt on it. Like, the knee, this part not having sculpt, or this part not, it's kind of fine, considering it's like a joint. I mean, they totally could have sculpted this and made it look like it doesn't have a kneecap. But they could have put stuff here, maybe, just continue that texture. I don't know. It's not a big deal. The tail here, unfortunately, this one is loose, and the tail comes off on this one, unfortunately. But, you know, it's old, so it kind of makes sense. Look at the texture on this thing. This is hard. I mean, it is PVC still, but it's pretty hard, flexible plastic. It kind of, like a little bit, it kind of looks like a Godzilla tail. It's sort of scaly look to it. He's got these weird, like, toe claw looking things. He's got one here on the back. Very big as well. They're like white they're black. That was painted white, and then they painted this sort of yellowy color. Same thing on the claws and like the teeth and all the spikes on this guy. The spider logo here is also painted and sculpted. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the only spider logo for Venom, the Symbiote logo that Toy Biz ever made that was actually sculpted. You can see, if you look up close, it's actually sculpted on. It's not just painted. Compared to this guy and every Black Suit Spider-Man Toy Biz made, this one is actually sculpted. It's the only one. But the other thing with this figure, which is kind of a continuity issue, is that this is called Venom the Symbiote. Being called Venom the Symbiote, it's supposed to be the symbiote on its own. There's not like this has a person in it, or like continuity wise that's not possible because it needs a host to survive, and without it it dies or whatever. So I put some glue dots here on his legs right here, and then on these knees, so that way he won't fall over. I also put some on the tail, so the tail The tail makes that guy fall over. But yeah, so the tail won't be flopping around and stuff. Or you could have him like super hunched down. Like I like to have him, he can be super hunched down like this, like he's ready to like jump onto Spider-Man or something. One cool thing I can do, if I move the head down and I put the head on like this, it's kind of hard to, kind of have to like balance it. But once you get it to balance, like let's say you can balance it, not like that, that's too extreme. You can have his mouth, look like his mouth is kind of gaped open a little bit. You know, have Spider-Man looking up at him like Spider-Man's, you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much all for this video. Let me know which one you prefer. Let me know which one you like more. I prefer this one. And I will see you guys in the next day of Venom Month. Also, let me know if you like Venom Month. And I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Wow.